Hey guys, let's wait. Hi guys, welcome to the session. And let's start doing discussion about the GPA, that is a Zscaler Private Access. So I will try to explain from very scratch, from everything from the dashboard point of view. There are a lot of changes happen in the past for the Zscaler Private Access and Zscaler Internet Access. Few feature has been also added into the dashboards. So I will try to explain what is that features, but who all are the very beginner and they don't know what is a GPA and what is a GIA solution for the Zscaler. So just for the brief, we have a two solution. One is the GPA and one is the GIA. There are basically three solution for the Zscaler: GIA, GPA, and JDX. So GIA, Zscaler Internet Access for the secure web gateway, like anything you're going on the internet or cloud-based solutions, that is going to use for the GIA. And GPA, the dashboard you are seeing here in front of me, that is all about the private applications. Let's suppose similarly using any kind of the VPN solutions, like Global Protect, you're using for the any 40 client solutions and any connect VPN solution from the Cisco. So what they do, if you're working from the home, you can securely connect your remote applications, might be data center-based hosted applications by using that VPN solution. Similarly, GPA is going to be your Zscaler Private Access to connect your private application, which are hosted in your data centers. It might be your in-house hosted application. Some cloud-based applications also you want to host it as a private applications. That is also possible. ZDX is all about that for the monitoring, digital experience, for end-to-end, what is happening on your network. That is going to be part of ZDX. So I'm not going to touch GIA today. I'm not going to touch ZDX today. I will just focus more about the JPA because I know people are keep talking about GIA, JDX, but GPA is like very less content available on the internet or anywhere in the industry. So people always confuse like how it's going to be work, how it's going to be configured, how it's going to be deployed. So today, what I have done, I deploy one of the GPA connector that is a live. Let me show you. So that is completely live GPA connector. And I was just doing the POC and all. So I thought, so why not I can make some kind of the content where my viewer is also going to be get benefited. So if I try to log in this, my connector, right, wait for a while. So uh, it is showing the authentication failure. Let me try again. Wait for a while. Okay. So you see, I'm in the GPA connector. Okay. And in this GPA connector, you will see that, hold on, my services are running. You can see if I run the command sudo service, right, and GPA connector status. So I need to put the password again. See, so you can see my GPA connector services is active right now and it's running. So it's enabled. So everything is working fine in GPA, and even I have the SSH enabled and I can log in my GPA via this way as well. If I go and do the SSH, I will log in it. So you can say this is my GPA connection, and even I can just try to run the command sudo uh, services GPA connector status. It is going to ask my password. Okay, so I'm in GPA, but yes, we already see that like system and everything is working. So somehow it misspelled the password, so it's not going to log in. But what I make a point, my GPA is deployed, and even you can see the connectors. So what is my IP address? If I want to show my IP address with GPA connector, so I'll go here and run the command IP address show. This is the command is going to work. So it's going to show 79 IP address. And if I go on my GPA connector, and if you want to see my private infra deployment, let me show you. If I go in the private infrastructure, app connector. So I deploy this connector in Singapore locations. So you are going to find this is my GPA connector, and let me show you. So if I go, you can see this is the connector which I deployed a few minutes back. So JTB Singapore, you can see this is my IP address 192.168.179. Exactly the same IP address I deploy, and even it is showing the public IP of my location. So which I connected via the broadband internet. So if I go on the internet and I run the command, what is my IP address? You are going to find the same IP address. See, 172, 176, sorry, 122.176.104.66. And this is the same IP which is available on the my portal, that is GPA portal. So it's absolutely live, and it showed 29 minutes back I deployed this connector. So that's all fine. But what are our features? So GPA connector deployment process, I just recorded the whole video, how it is going to be done for the learning point of view. So you guys are going to find in somewhere in the portal of learning of the GUINET portal. So that is going to be very helpful. But what makes more important for us? So this is the private applications locations. By going on this particular portal, I can have access of all my private applications. So you can see if I click on Zscaler private access, we have the applications, we have the users, we have the health, we have the app connectors, we have the private services. Means there's another private services edge feature available on the GPA connector that we'll discuss later. Private cloud controllers, right? And we have the more options also available, extranet security, source IP anchoring, which is going to be used for the more time for the any kind of the application you want to access that. So what I can check here, so you can see in this portals, we have the dashboard. So dashboard is going to give the applications, user informations, who all user are recently connected to that, which all applications they have accessed. So you can see if I just going to check for the 1 hour applications, even I can just customize this for the 48 hours application, 24-hour applications. Even I go for the, let's suppose 7 days. So all application which has been accessed in last 10 days, 7 days, or might be 48 hours, that all is going to be visible in this particular portal. And how many total transitions has been happened that you're going to get from here also, and how many policy that has been blocked by the users. Means policy blocked for the request that is also going to be there. And similarly, you can verify the users' informations, who all are the users and accessing what. So you can see there are a lot of users available for the current concurrent users. You can see that, and a total 52 users are available here. And similarly, you can just verify the health as well, how the health is running for this particular all connectors. So you can see the application's health, you can see the connector's health. So green is something is good, right? Means everything is good, green means. And if something is red, that means there are some issue with the applications and you have to take a special action on that. Similarly, for the app connector also, you can see we have a lot of app connectors. Some connectors are down, red means down, some are green, that is green, even for the R for the Singapore locations. So you're going to find that this is going to be uh, red, not red, so be green. So this is the red, but we should have some green as well. Let me check. Yeah, GTB Singapore. So we deploy total here. And you can see last uptime is 20 hour 58 minutes. Since then it is up and working. And the private IP address you can see 10.120.1.104, and the public IP is 45.120.106.50. So this is a location. And private service edge also we have in the AWS base. And how many app connector we have, we can find that app connector informations here. So different locations, we have the app connectors, and these are the peak memory utilizations. If you want to find for the specific app connector for the any other location, let's suppose I'm trying to Singapore. So it is going to just give me all Singapore app connector information. So you can just select all that application which you want to see that for the Singapore location, not application, app connectors, and you apply that, then you're going to get information about the app connector which are in the Singapore only. Okay, so This is the private service edge. You can deploy the private services, let's suppose for some location where it is going to be required. So we'll discuss dedicatedly what is the private PSC, why it is going to use, private controller as well, security as well, source IP anchoring, extranet. So these are the different dashboard. Means it's going to just give the logs. Is what is happening for the IP anchoring, extranet, security. But if you want to get more insights, right, you're going to get from here, insight sections. You're going to get more insights what is happening, policy usage, application management, segment usage, you're going to get where my app's being served from, right? So you're going to get here the quarterly business review as well. So you get the review for the your all applications, what is happening, how they are behaving, and what all that, kind of the users are accessing. And MITRE attack, and like this is just about that any kind of botnet attack, what is happening, browser based credential exploitations happening, any kind of OS credential dumping happening, real estate web sessions. So it's more about that any kind of the issue it is happening during the deployment of application, accessing the applications that is going to be there. And this is going to give the analytics for diagnostics, support information. This is a new feature they have been added that is a privileged remote access, PRA. We'll discuss more about it. Live logs means which user is accessing what application. So you can get any kind of the live access application for the users, for applications. Let's suppose I want to find any applications. I can just put the application name or user. I can put the username here. And it is going to give that all, you just update it. Even you have the more filters. You want to find from the based on the user's IP. You can just go and put the user IP. Let's suppose 192.168.1.79. This is my IP address. Probably my connector is not right now using any applications. So we do not have anything. But if you want to just filter anything, you can just do the filter from here. And that is going to be add some kind of the like information in front of you. So that is going to be helpful for you as well. So if we have a lot of kind of the features, means the status code. This is also very important, guys. Whenever any application is not going to work, so it is going to be just display one of the status code. Even it's working, it's going to give the status code. So how you can just verify based on the status code what is happening for these particular applications. So let me show you something. If I get some logs, see, these are the logs, like diagnostic. These are live logs. And if I go and click, this is the source IP anchoring. And if I click on this log, you're going to find some status code in the connection ID, user metadata, and close connection. See, this is the status code. This is what, this is very important. So sometimes it's help you to understand why my application is working or having some issue. Uh, might be user is complaining my application is not working. So you have the status code, status, and status code. Here, a status code also is available. These are going to help you. We have different status code. So you just always go and get the info, error codes. This is going to describe this kind of the like issues, and also they will suggest for the resolutions what you have to use that. Like disable web prompt means you are going to get this status code, and enable web pros the solutions. DNS resolution fold, invalid domain name. So they are going to give some kind of write-ups. You can just read and you can just solve that particular issues. So this is how you can try to basically think about any issues you're going to come based on the logs. And even you want to filter any logs based on the IP as well, or connector as well. Let's suppose I go and find the connector based log. I know it is not going to come, but let me try. So there is no logs because this is a newly deployed connector. But if any log is coming, it is going to give that why this log is coming. If you clear that, all log is going to be there. So this is going to be most important for the analytics, support information, live logs. But if you want to talk about the authentications, how authentication means this, all three tabs are more about the troubleshooting, insights, dashboards. But authentication, how you're going to define the authentication, IDP settings, emergency access users, scheme like activation, you want to do that, right? And device authentication, machine group, user group. This is just for the means how to authenticate to the GPA portals, and how you can define the GPA portal for different authentication supports. And this is for resource management, means if you want to create any applications that is going to be accessible from the remotely, application group you want to create, means one group you want to put multiple applications, app protection, privileged remote access. This is all about that, privileged remote access is a feature where I can just access anything from remotely when I don't have the connectors, means third party access, right? It is known as a PRA. So PRA is basically nothing. It's a privileged remote access, and this is just for the remote users, right? And remote user basically they don't have the desktop, right? Clientless remote access. Still, they want to use basically this private application access. They don't have the GPU installed, or they want to access some kind of the RDP, SSH connections, VNC connections. So, privileged remote access is a client remote desktop gateway that enable that user securely connect to the server, even they don't have the client for GPA client. Means this is the client installed in their machine. So this is a new feature. It's just going to be browser based and it is going to be just enabled for your authentication. So PRA is a very quite popular nowadays, right? That is known as a privileged remote access. And securely it is going to allow and manage remote access for the critical system privilege access. Okay. And it's all about the remote connectivity, RDP, SSH, and the VNC, how they are going to be secure. That's PRA is going to be help you in terms of the clientless support method. So we'll discuss more about that, how it is going to work and what is the logic behind it, user portal, how it is going to be configured. We'll discuss and then policy. This is the policy. Means if you're creating any application, so how policy is going to be configured. That's going to be more day-to-day use for you. Means which application you want to allow, which application you want to block, which user need to be accessed, which user do not need to be accessed. What is the timeout policy, client forwarding policy, isolation policy, security policy, privilege access policy, redaction policy. So these all policy you should know. If you want to become a champion of the GPA, you should know each and every access policy and why you use, how it is going to be configured. Then it is going to be very helpful. And then it is going to be configured and control for the any kind of the administrator, rule, log, company profile, API integrations, private. This is GPA connected deployment. Browser isolation is a feature. Let's suppose you still want to use any application from the browser-based authentications that is going to be there. So we have a lot of things here. So I just want to give the overview how basically GPA connector is going to look like. But in going future, you guys are going to get more content for the configuration. For every sections, I will show the live logs. I will do the more configurations. We'll discuss about the tools, remote assistance, Zscaler help portals. If you want to submit any ticket for any issues, then how it is going to happen, trust portals, VPN for the legacy app, how it is going to be configured, that all is going to be covered. But most important, you should know how to upload GPA portals and what are different tabs we have. So most, if you want doing the troubleshooting, you use the dashboard inside in analytics. If you want to do the configuration, then you have to use for this particular policy, resource management. You want to deploy the application, private infrastructures, then you have to do the resource management and this private infrastructures. This is going to be very helpful. So I hope this helpful session is going to be help to understand about the GPA portals and later we'll do the more discussion on it. Thank you so much.